Hey guys, so now that the 2020 Megatins are released and Dragoon is legal as of today, I thought I'd bring an updated Cyber Dragon deck profile that features Dragoon, and I'll give you options for the Machine Dupe and the no Machine Dupe build, so go with whichever style that you're most comfortable with. At the end, I'll also do some test hands and provide some basic combos for Cyber Dragons and bringing out Dragoon for the newer players that want to play this deck. And if you like seeing more Cyber Dragon content, then consider liking the video and subscribing to make my day. Okay, so on to the main deck. To start with the Cyber Dragon cards, we have 3 core, 3 Hertz, 3 original Cyber Dragon. We're playing 2 Naxxter and the 1 Veer. The Veer is now even more useful for just that extra body to go into Anaconda and then bring out Dragoon in instances where that's kind of like the only line of play that you have. Okay, and then next we have 2 Galaxy Soldiers to help you go into Nova and Infinity. And now we're still playing 2 Jizkuru. It's going to be, important to get rid of Dragoon, and this will help with that. And then for hand traps, we have 2 Ash and 2 Ogres. So now I really wanted to play the Gamma package, but I do in the no Machine Dupe variant that I'll show you soon. But in the Machine Dupe variant, I just felt that, like the 3 Machine Dupes can serve as potential bricks, and then you're also playing the 3 cards for Red-Eyes Dargoon, and that's, dead cards that you don't want to draw as well. So on top of that, having the driver and any additional gammas that you can't use, I just felt that it made the deck a little too clunky, so I decided not to put the gamma package in this build, but up to you on how you want to play it. Now, speaking of the Dragoon package, so we are going in with Dark Magician, Red-Eyes Dark Dragon, and then the Red-Eyes Fusion. So definitely cards that you don't want to draw, especially Red-Eyes Fusion, because if you draw it and you play it, then you can't summon any monsters that turn, compared to when you use Anaconda to bring out Dragoon. I'm actually going to bring you another ruling video soon, and I'll actually cover a bit on Dragoon as well, so stay tuned for that one. But in the meantime, let me know in the comments which artwork you guys are going to go with for Dark Magician and Red-Eyes, and let me know what you think of my choice. But don't be too savage though, because I have feelings too. Next, on to now the spells. We have 3 Emergency, and then we are also playing 2 Repair Plant, and the 1 Ref System. A notable exclusion with the Cyber Dragon spells is I don't play Cyberload Fusion anymore, because I just felt with now you're playing also Red-Eyes Fusion and your Anaconda, you're prioritizing getting out Dragoon now instead of Rampage for the most part, so you're not banishing as much. Of course, you still have Overflow to banish, but I've always liked Cyberload Fusion for kind of the utility it brought during mid to late game scenarios, but I felt it was getting kind of clunky, and so I decided to take out Cyberload Fusion. But we do still keep the Overload Fusion because it enables OTKs, and because this is the Machine Dupe variant, we are playing 3 dupes. I'll show you quickly in a sec of the variant that doesn't play this, but I mean, I've always been comfortable playing the dupe build, and I'd really like to try it out even with the Dragoon package. Next, and then we have Foolish just as an extender. It can, you can send Hertz to bring back, let's say, a core or Naxxter engrave to your hand and stuff like that. And then some back row hate, and I guess monster removal, Lightning Storm, and we're also playing 2 Forbidden Droplet. This card is super good, guys. I mean, it can send also from field, a card on the field as cost as well. So if you were to, let's say, for example, play like a normal spell like Lightning Storm, and then you could chain Forbidden Droplet and then send the Lightning Storm as cost. That way you don't neg for Forbidden Droplet and Lightning Storm would still resolve. And then finally onto the traps, we have 3 Imperm just for additional hand traps, also good going first, so it's really good. And we do have the 1 Cybernetic Overflow. Our going first turn board is now much stronger now that we have Dragoon, so I don't think you need to have 2, but up to you if you want to play more than 1. Okay guys, so now let's just quickly backtrack and see what you would take out if you were to play the build without Machine Dupe. So basically, you would be taking out the 3 Machine Dupes, and you would also be taking out the 2 OG Cyber Dragons. you start by taking these 5 out, and I would put in a third soldier and a second Veer into the deck. And then I also want to play the Gamut package. So I would also take out 2 Ogres, and then put in the Gamut package and a third Ash. You could basically take out these 7 cards and then replace them with these. Alright guys, so that's it for the main deck, which was 42 cards, and I decided to up that a bit from 40 just so we have a bit less chance of drawing the Dragoon package. But now on to the extra deck. Moving on with the links, we have Almirage, Anima, Seeger, Nightmare Phoenix, and Red Plant for the Anaconda. You can play 2 of this if you want to really prioritize getting Dragoon out, but I like to just do it at 1 because I like my extra deck with more Cyber Dragon monsters. Next we have the 2 Novas and 2 Infinities. I like to play this ratio because, as you would see in my replays, I like to bring out Nova with Naxter. That way it forces your opponent to either pop it and then you can bring out the Rampage, or you can summon out your second Infinity with a negate on the summon. Next, the main event, Red-Eyes Dark Dragoon. Crazy busted card. It's almost as if someone made a custom card and it just somehow became legal. You know, it can't be destroyed by card effects, you can't target it. It can destroy your opponent's monsters and burn them, and on top of that can also negate and destroy card effect or activation, and it gains 1,000 attack boost permanently if it does so. So really strong card. It makes our going first turn boards great, but it's also good going second because of its pop and burn effect. Next, we do play the Mechaba because, for one, the Dogmatica matchups, we can send the Nova and bring this out, and even in other instances, I mean, we play Nova naturally, and a lot of times if you were to get Nibiru, it's on the Nova, and then you can either bring out the Rampage, or in instances where it makes more sense, you can bring out the Mechaba. And while Nibiru is 3,000 attack and can get over Mechaba, sometimes your opponent kind of has to use up their battle phase just to get over this thing because they can't risk getting any of their monster effects negated. So very good card. Price is slowly going up, so maybe pick up a copy if you don't have it already. On to the Chimeric monsters, we are playing 2 Mega Fleet. The reprint and secret rare, it was pretty random, but I can't complain. You can honestly cut it to 1 and I think it would be okay, but I'm gonna still go with 2 for now. We do play the 1 Fortress to get rid of that Jizuku that you're going to be giving to your opponent, but other instances where your opponent has machine monsters, that works too, especially Mechaba. That's an easy way to get rid of it with Cyber Dragon and then go into this guy. And then we do play 1 Rampage now. Now that I cut the Cyberload Fusion, I figured I should probably cut it down to 1 as well. I used to play 2 for quite some time, but let's see how it goes. It is a very good card nonetheless, and will really get you those OTK wins. Also, if you're playing the no Dupe variant, then you can kind of take out the Nightmare Phoenix and replace it with a Cyframe Lambda. But one thing is that, you know, you usually go into Lambda as like part of your turn 1 board when you have a Gamma in hand, but nowadays you're probably prioritizing going into Anaconda to bring out Dragoon instead for your turn 1 board, so it may not come up that much, but up to you if you want to play it. Alright, on to the side deck. This really hasn't changed much, so we have 3 Nibiru, 3 Dark Ruler for the combo decks, and some back row hate. We do have 2 Cyclone and then the red reboot. Let's really hope that this comes to at least 2 in the next ban list. I really miss it. And then we have the 3 evenly matched. And lastly, as you all know by now, we have the 3 summon limits for our going first play. Super good card. I highly recommend it. Another thing to note is that I am wary whether I should be playing the 3 Super Polys in this side and the Starring Venom just to out Dragoon, but for now I want to see how my deck does without this, because we are playing 2 Forbidden Droplets, we have the 2 Jizukus, and we also have 3 Dark Rulers, and I generally really don't like having to use up my side deck slot for Super Poly and also an extra deck spot for our Super Poly target, so hopefully we can get away with it with not playing this package, but we'll see how it goes. Just keep in mind of that. Alright guys, so let's just do one quick test hand just to show how we can bring out Infinity and Dragoon with Cyber Dragons, just in case you're new to playing this deck. So we're assuming we're going second, So we just draw our opening hand here. And let's just pretend that we used Imperm on their turn. And draw for turn. Okay, so here we can pretend like our opponent has some backup cards. We'll Lightning Storm it away. We can use Emergency first just to bait out the Ash. But let's just say it goes through. And we will take out the Naxxra in this instance, just to be safe, or just to play safe in case we get Nibiru. So we're gonna summon the core, use its effect, and we have the hurt, so we're gonna search the repair plant so that we can go into Galaxy Soldier. So we are gonna link it off for Almirage, and now that we have a Cyber Dragon Grave, we can use repair plant, search a light machine, and we will add Galaxy Soldier. Now we will pitch the hurts for the Galaxy Soldier, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, and we can add the Cyber Dragon in deck and the other soldier, and do it again. And now we overlay into the Nova. So now at this point, this is our 5th summon. So for now, let's just pretend our opponent didn't Nibiru us yet, but we'll do a scenario where we do get Nibiru. So we're going to use Nova's effect to detach and special Cyber Dragon. And then we'll bring out the Infinity. Then we can link these two off for the Anaconda. Use its effect, pay cost, pay 2,000 life points, and then you can send the Red-Eyes Fusion, in which case you can now send the Red-Eyes and Dark Magician to summon out the Red-Eyes Dark Dragoon. And then here, you can pop and burn your opponent, and then let's say you didn't kill them though, but then you can use Infinity to suck up Anaconda if you didn't suck up like your opponent's monster that turn. That way you're not vulnerable to Super Poly. Okay, so let's backtrack now and go back into that situation where we could have been Nibiru. Okay, so here when we go into that Nova, this was our 5th summon. So here, let's pretend that our opponent drops the Nibiru at this point. So at this point, we would get the token, and then Nova's effect will trigger, and we can bring out either the Rampage or Mechaba. So it kind of depends on the situation, but let's just bring out Rampage for now. So at this point, now it kind of depends, what the situation is, because let's say if your opponent, all he has is like Nibiru, and he has, let's say he doesn't even have any hand traps, I don't know, but so for example, you can use Rampage effect and you can send 2 cards. At this point, it doesn't actually matter too much because we have the Naxxra in hand, but it's really just to be able to attack twice. So let's just send like another Veer and Cyber Dragon, for example. So one option would be to use Naxxra to pitch and special, and then Naxxra effect, you can bring out another machine monster. So here you can either bring out, for example, let's say Cyber Dragon, and then you could go into Seeger and then kind of attack for like 4,200 3 times if that's going to be game. If not, another option could be, for example, you just bring out Nova with Naxxra instead, and then you go into your Infinity that way, and then suck up your opponent's monster, for example. At this point you are locked into machines though, so you can't go into Anaconda and bring out Dragoon, but let's say you knew you can't kill your opponent anyway, so you kind of do this play instead, just kind of attack multiple times and then have an Infinity set up. Finally, instead of going to Infinity, let's say you just wanted to bring out Dragoon. So then you can again pitch Ogre, and then just don't use Naxxra's effect in that instance, because then you get locked into machines, and then you can just use these 2 to go into Anaconda, and then bring out the Red-Eyes Fusion and the package, and bring out the Dragoon, pop 2, and burn them, and then go for the attack. Maybe it kills them, maybe it doesn't. And so yeah, it just depends on kind of your opponent's board and in terms of knowing which route to take, but there's definitely ways to playing around Nibiru with this deck. Alright guys, so that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, it would certainly be great if you could subscribe for more Cyber Dragon content. And as I mentioned earlier, I'll be bringing you another Cyber Dragon ruling video next, so stay tuned for that. And well, that's it for me guys. Take care.